Welcome back to the show, everyone. It's Dina Calmetta here, and for today's broadcast, I do have some headlines I'd like to share with you, and I'd like to start with China. It is being reported that China will strike back against any moves that undermine its core interests. Its foreign ministry said on Friday, after U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said that Taiwan has not been a part of China. China calls Taiwan the most sensitive and important issue in its ties with the U.S. and has been anchored by the Trump administration's stepped-up support for the Chinese claimed yet democratically ruled island, such as arms sales. Speaking in a U.S. radio interview on Thursday, Pompeo stated that Taiwan has not been a part of China. That was recognized with the work that the Reagan administration did to lay out the policies that the United States has adhered to for 3.5 decades. It goes on further to report that the U.S. is bound by law to provide Taiwan with the means to defend itself, and officially only acknowledges the Chinese position that Taiwan is part of it, rather than explicitly recognizing China's claims. But speaking in Beijing, the Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman said that Taiwan was inalienable a part of China, and that Pompeo was further damaging Sino-U.S. ties, stating that we solemnly tell Pompeo and his ilk that any behavior that undermines China's core interests and interferes with China's domestic affairs will be met with a resolute counterattack by China. Now, China has placed sanctions on U.S. companies selling weapons to Taiwan and flew fighter jets near the island when senior U.S. officials visited Taipei this year. But in the meantime, President Trump has issued an executive order banning communist China military companies from any kind of trade in U.S. securities, saying that Beijing has exploited those to finance its military buildup. Trump stated in an order issued on Thursday, the People's Republic of China is increasingly exploiting United States capital to resource and to enable the development and modernization of its military, intelligence, and other apparatuses, which allows Beijing to directly threaten the United States homeland and the United States forces overseas. He accused the PRC of developing and deploying weapons of mass destruction, advanced conventional weapons, and malicious cyber-enabled actions against the United States and its people, declaring that this is an unusual and extraordinary threat to the national security, foreign policy, and economy of the United States. Trump ordered a total ban on any transaction in publicly traded securities or any securities or designed to provide investment exposure to such securities, with companies designated under the order beginning on January 11th, 2021. So this has definitely angered China, because right after President Trump issued this order on Thursday, the Chinese government congratulated Biden on what the mainstream media says as the president-elect. Now, they have held back, as did Russia, since it was announced by mainstream media on Saturday. So this order definitely angered them. But here's another very interesting headline. Apparently, China's secretive crash nuclear buildup is revealed. The report goes on to read that China is rapidly building up its nuclear forces, including the expansion of plutonium and uranium plants, as part of a secretive crash program to add warheads to its growing missiles and bomber forces. According to a declassified U.S. briefing, the 4 slides were part of a recent briefing for NATO allies in the past month on Chinese nuclear forces and show 3 facilities that appear to have sharply increased in size since 2010. One plutonium production area doubled in size at a nuclear reprocessing zone in the past 2 years alone, and added another reactor in the past year. So U.S. officials view the significant construction as part of what the Pentagon said recently is a plan by Beijing to double the size of its warhead stockpile in the next decade. But the State Department's lead envoy for arms control stated that the world deserves to know what China is up to. They have never admitted how many nuclear weapons they have and how many they plan on building.
Well, neither has America admitted how many nuclear weapons they had. And right after the short-range missile treaty expired, what was America found doing? Testing short-range missiles. So this is just more witchcraft and propaganda that Esau Edom is pushing and making China the bad guy, because they are indeed in line to be the next quote-unquote superpower in their eyes. But little do they know that we got next, man. Okay, the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Bashim Yahushai's kingdom will be next in line, man. Okay, not Moab, not Gog and Magog. Okay, not Elam and all this other shit, man. Okay, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai has next, man. Is next in line. Excuse me. And all these other nations are stockpiling and building nuclear or weapons for what reason? To use them, man. Again, everyone is talking about coronavirus and goddamn the needle and the presidential election, but no one is talking about damn World War III, man. Okay, the RFID microchip and World War III are the last two major prophecies, man, before the Lord Yahweh Shai kingdom comes, man. Okay, and we're right at the brink of that, man. We're right at the brink of that, which is why you see America constantly picking at China. All right, when who comes along with China? North Korea and Russia and a few other allies that will be coming with them, man. All right, so we see this thing getting ready to come to a head, man. We see it getting ready to come to a head. Things are picking up, man. You know, and so forth, man. And so we're gonna come with my first scripture here, and this is Isaiah 34 and 5. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse the judgment. All right, and we know Idumea is modern day America, man. Okay, Esau, Edom. All right, and the Lord is gathering all the nations, man. They're going to eventually end up shooting nukes on this place, man. Okay, that's crystal clear to see, according to Ezekiel the 38th chapter, according to Jeremiah the 50th chapter, Jeremiah 51 chapter, as well as 2nd Esdras the 16th chapter, man. All right. In fact, let me get that. I think it's in Jeremiah the 50th chapter. Jeremiah the 50th chapter. Jeremiah 50 chapter. Yeah. This is Jeremiah 50 and 23. How's the hammer of the earth, of the whole earth, cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations? And America, Babylon, is the hammer of the earth, man, through his military might, man. All right, through his military might, which is why they for so long they were able to go around bullying each nation and bullying this nation. Now these other nations have nuclear capability, man. Okay, and they have created different factions and alliances to help them go down and take on this war, man. All right, eventually every nation is going to end up turning against Babylon, the daughter of Babylon, or mystery Babylon, man. All right, eventually that's going to happen, man. Let me see here. So Jeremiah. Salaki. Let me go back up. I'll start at Jeremiah 51 and then I'll come down to 14. Jeremiah 50. Salaki, y'all, I'm all over the place. All over the place. You gotta excuse me. I'm just doing this through the spirit on the fly. Right before I go to camp, man. About to head to camp right now. So this is Jeremiah 50 and 14. Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about. All ye that bend the bow, shoot at her. Spare no arrows, for she have sinned against the Lord Yahweh. And this is America, man. All right, this is talking about a future Babylon, which is America, man. Because when you read into the history of ancient Babylon, there was no arrows thrown on it. It wasn't thrown down by fire. You didn't have the northern and the southern kingdom in Babylon, man. All right, but this Babylon we're reading about, you did, man. Okay, and those arrows are symbolic to missiles, man. All right, and all these other nations will shoot their missiles up on Babylon and make her desolate, man. Okay, moving down. Shot against her round about. She have given her hand. Her foundations are fallen. Her walls are thrown down. For it is vengeance of the Lord Yahweh. Take vengeance upon her, as she have done do unto her. The rape, the rob, the murdering, the pillaging, okay, the bombing and making desolate of other nations. The Lord Yahweh Shem Shai says, do those things to her. Okay, as she's done so wickedly, man. Verse 16, cut off the sword from Babylon. Cut off the sword from Babylon, and him that handleth the sickle in the time of the harvest. For fears the oppressing sword, they shall turn everyone to his people, and they shall flee everyone to his own land. When did this happen in ancient Babylon? When did that happen in ancient Babylon? Man, look. Hey, this is beautiful, man. This is beautiful how the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai is setting everything up. And so we'll get into a little bit more of this video, and we'll get out of here.
But it is clear from imagery that China is engaged in a secretive crash buildup of its infrastructure. There is no doubt that China wants to be on par with the US and Russia in terms of its military and nuclear capabilities. Now, China has claimed that its nuclear arsenal is far smaller than those of the US and Russia, and that it would not be the first to use nuclear arms in a conflict. But that claim is under scrutiny because of the nuclear forces buildup. It goes on finally to report that China's submarine missile capability is also a concern. China now has the capability to directly threaten our homeland from a ballistic missile submarine. And over the next decade, China's nuclear warhead stockpile, currently estimated to be in the low 200s, is projected to at least double in size as China expands and modernizes its nuclear forces. But this is the first time in decades that the Pentagon had revealed its estimate of warheads. Some experts say that the number is much larger and includes hidden stockpiles of warheads. So not a really big surprise concerning China, but at least now we have some evidence. And with that said, let's talk about North Korea next. North Korea is believed to have up to 60 nuclear warheads capable of threatening regional stability in East Asia, according to the latest estimate, published on Wednesday by the Institute for National Strategic Studies. In its assessment, the INSS revealed that North Korea is assumed to have between 15 and 60 nuclear warheads and approximately 650 ballistic missiles capable of threatening cities in South Korea, as well as Japan and eastern China. Through the development of weapons and mass destruction, use of chemical weapons, and aggressive posturing of its conventional forces, the DPRK threatens regional stability and global norms, according to the report. It goes on further to report that it has also tested intercontinental ballistic missiles that could be capable of striking the U.S. And the majority of North Korea's estimate.
We just read that, man. We just read that. All that bend up the bow, shoot at her, okay? And ultimately, they will, man. Ultimately, they will. I don't want to watch this whole video, but let me see here. This is Jeremiah 50:24. I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou was not aware. Thou art found and also caught, because thou hast striven against the Lord Yahweh. And the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai is laying a snare, man. Okay, here he's going to take you out with all your own technology that you've built. Okay, you dropped, remember Fat Man and Little Boy? These other nations haven't forgot about that, man. All right, Libya, Syria, Sudan, they have not forgot about your treachery that you've done, man. The Lord hasn't forgot about the treachery that you've done, okay? Verse 25, the Lord hath opened up his armory and hath brought forth the weapons of his indignation, righteous judgment, okay? For is the work of the Lord Yahweh, thy power of hosts in the land of the Chaldeans. And the land of the Chaldeans are you elite Rothschilds, and you elite the Gettys and DuPonts and Oppenheimers, the people who really run the scenes from behind, man. Come against her from the uttermost border, open up her storehouses, cast her up as heaps, and destroy her utterly. Let nothing be left of her. And this is what ultimately is going to end up happening, man. All right, they're going to end up shooting thermonuclear missiles on this place, as well as Russia, as well as the other nations, man. And this last one, we'll get out of here, man. This is Jeremiah 51:7. Babylon have been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Yeah, the nations have followed your philosophies, man. Okay, you're a quote unquote democracy, and it's end up fucking them over in the long run, man. And now they're sick of it, man. All right, and the only way to the only way to translate power is through war, man. That's the only way that this is gonna work out, man. And so you other nations are finished as well, man. You won't be riding high. All right, your judgment is gonna come in by way of war as well, man. Okay. So hopefully this lesson is edified. I want to give our praise and glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Barak HaKadosh. Shalom.